So I wanted to stitch this video with the last video I did on giving single people advice about finding or meeting someone, but it was taking too long. So if you would like to go see that and where I'm coming from kind of, then I would recommend you go and watch that video first. But I was thinking about it and I was like, you know what, why don't I speak into the void more and talk about what I have learned and what has vastly improved my dating life. So like a pretty obvious one would be like vetting, which is just like deciding what you do and don't want, and depending on that, that's kind of like your blueprint for what you want in someone. And a side note, your standards always have to be higher than the person that you're with. But if you want to date in this day and age, I'm taking a break from it right now because I don't have the time or energy for that. Because if you are going to be in the dating scene, you have to realize that it will take energy and time, and you have to be prepared for yourself to be disappointed, especially if you're talking to men. So I always go into it with low expectations but high standards and strong boundaries. That has been the best recipe for me. But yeah, if you are gonna try to date in this day and age, I don't recommend dating apps. I know I have personally used them, but in the past year especially, it's gotten so much worse. And dating apps are like the easiest convenience that men have ever had to women, or like the easiest access. So like they don't even have to like pay to talk to us or to look at us. And there's very little effort that goes into actually just like sending a message. So like I know like on Hinge, that's what I've used the most. And I like that more because then they send you the like. So it's less work for you. But anyway, if they send a photo back to you with nothing on it, no comment, nothing, obviously do not. They didn't take any time to look at your profile, like even less than the average scroll time that most men will go through your profile. Yeah, so like if they're sending you back a like photo from your profile, like a like, and it's like they didn't add anything, no like words or questions or comments on there, then it's a no, because he's already putting the least amount of effort that he possibly can, and that is going to be reflective in like just how he is, and he's not going to be someone who wants to take you out on a date. But there are so many ways to vet men through dating apps. There's websites that you can go to and you can check to see if they have a record. I would look up their name in general. I would look up their phone number if they give it to you. If you can find their social media, I would do that too, because a lot of men on these apps, they have girlfriends or boyfriends or a wife. Yeah, go through the photos, go through all the comments, go through the tagged, go through the following, everything. And I know this is a lot of work, but this is why I said if you want to date, you have to have the energy to do it, because to keep yourself safe, you have to do this. You have to do it. Because every time I have not done this, I've regretted it, and it has put me in a bad situation, from like bad to like extremely dangerous. And like if you actually like want to go out on dates, it is like you're just gonna get way fewer matches and going to interact with way less people, because most people are on there to just hook up. And dating apps attract like the worst men, honestly, because like they have to put the least amount of effort in, so it's going to attract men who want to put in like no effort to interact with women. Also, if you are dating in this day and age and your self-esteem is low, do not date. These men, they they can smell it on you. They can smell it on you like a dog. And not that it has to be like astronomically high, but your self-worth needs to be high enough where if someone's not meeting your boundaries, or if they're crossing your boundaries, if they're not meeting your standards, if, you know, don't just talk to someone to have someone, even if like you're like, oh, this person seems great, and then they do something, you're like, ooh, that's a red flag, I don't like that. You have to have the esteem and the worth to cut it off. So yeah, I can go into more detail about vetting if that is wanted, like more specific things I have done, but I feel like that's like scratching the first layer of it. Honestly, there's so much more that goes into how to date safely when you're a single woman, especially now. I would just tell you, don't date. Don't do it. Don't interact with them. And if you do, you have to realize that men are transactional, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but you can't go into it expecting them not to be. Because, like, when you do things for men, they don't think that you're doing it out of the kindness of your heart. They think you're doing it to get something back in return, because that's how they operate. And every man who approaches you or matches with you, they are going to be sexually attracted to you, want to have sex with you, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But the issue is they don't want to play fair. They don't want you to know that. Once you know that, then the game isn't fun anymore. So, be aware of that as well. So, if you're going to interact with them at all, make sure you're getting what you want out of it, because they sure are.